In this lecture, we'll learn how to use tables. The different styles for this kind of content includes inverted colors, table head styles, striped rows, bordered table, hoverable rows, small table, contextual color classes, and responsive table. The first thing we want to do is to create a normal table with some content that can later be styled in different ways. We'll start with the table container element. Inside this, we'll create the T-head tag and T-body tag. In our table head, we'll create just one table row. Inside this, we'll create 4 GH tags with a scope attribute with the value column. In our table body, we'll create one table row. Inside this goes one GH tag with a scope attribute with the value row. And after that, 3 table cells. We'll now duplicate this table row twice. Now we have the correct structure for a normal but empty table. We go ahead and add some content to all of our table cells. The basic default Bootstrap styling can be applied to tables by adding the table class to the table tag. Let's see it in the browser. To make the table have inverted colors, we add the class table inverse. Let's see it in the browser. It's also possible to more specifically style just the table head. First, we remove the table inverse class from before, and then we add the T-head default class to the T-head tag. In the browser, we can now see that the table head have a gray background. The table head can also have inverted colors, which is achieved by using the T-head inverse instead. Let's see this in the browser. Let's remove the table head class again. To make the table appear striped, we can use the class table striped. In the browser, we now see a gray background on all the odd rows of the table body. Once again, we can choose to invert the colors by adding the class table inverse like we did earlier. When we look at it in the browser now, we still see the striped styling, but now it's much more subtle. Let's remove the classes table striped and table inverse again. We can apply borders to all sides of the cells and the table itself by adding the class table bordered. Let's take a look in the browser. Once again, we can choose to invert the colors by adding the class table inverse. Let's see it again in the browser. Let's remove the classes table bordered and table inverse again. We can create a hover effect on all of the table rows in the table body by adding the class table hover. Let's see this in action. We can also use the table inverse class here, but like the striped table, the effect is more subtle. Let's remove the classes table hover and table inverse. We can make the table smaller by adding the class table SM. Let's see how the table appears now. Let's remove the table SM class again. It's possible to use contextual color classes on both rows and cells. To demonstrate this, we'll add the class table success to the first table row in the table body, and the class table warning to the second table row. In the last table row, we'll give the 3 table cells the contextual color classes table active, table danger, and table info. Let's see these colors in the browser. Finally, we can make the table responsive by adding the class table responsive. When we look at it in the browser, we'll now see that the table can be scrolled horizontally on small devices. We have now learned how to use tables. Go on and continue with the coding exercise, which will help you learn how to use this kind of content. In the next lecture, we'll learn how to use code examples.